So here we all are, just the 5 of us, at the finale. Who could have seen this coming?
Poor Dakota. I so desperately wanted her to see the finale with us, through the eyes of a competitor. Oh, such a sweet poor dear.
I think Dakota will be just fine. She's a fighter after all, and she has us as her drag mums.
I need to stop talking for a bit. I'm sorry, I'm just still too caught up in it.
I'm glad I was able to make the finale, but I'm sad it came at the cost of having Dakota here with us.
So what do we think the final challenge will be? It's usually something grandiose for the grand finale, no?
After the hellacious week I've had, I wouldn't be surprised if jumping through lit hoops, walking on coals, and diving into tiny glasses of water were in store for us.
Hello, queens. Today is the day. The beginning of the rest of your lives. Today there will be a special assignment for you all. Your maxi assignment for today is to perform a group choreo number live on stage before us judges to commemorate the 4th finale of Morgyn's Drag Race. Your runway look for tonight will be royal regalia for the runway, to look as regal as possible, as queenly as possible, fit for a crown on one's head. Now, would you please prepare yourselves to enter the little elevator down the hall to meet with me for your special finale interview, in order, as usual, from Abacus to Zoara.
She did not say we're to perform another dance routine after having performed one last week. If I don't win this thing in the end, I swear I'll quit and retire to Granzy's. That place seems peaceful.
Oh, another dance-related challenge, huh? I guess the judges are hungry for more Dahlia Swan. I guess they weren't satisfied with just my performance as the immaculate, the incomparable Bella Goth. No, they simply demand more of Dahlia Swan, and that's perfectly fine by me, my future fans.
Another dance routine? Good thing I have strong legs. I can't wait to win the runway portion of this week's challenge.
Look, I know I keep going on about unleashing the beast and how I'm the wolf queen and all that, but can we cool it a little with the dance challenges? Too much choreo hurts my pads.
Finally! Another challenge that's straight out of my wheelhouse. Everyone don't wait up. I'll just be here at the top doing what I do best, excelling at everything this competition throws at me.
Hello, Abacus. Welcome. Have a seat. Would you care for a tic-tac or two for our special one-on-one interview today?
Can you smell my breath from that far away?
Miss Abacus, here you are sitting down with moi for the finale interview, and I have to say, out of everyone that's still here, I am the least surprised with you making it here. You've been so consistent, you've been so polished. It seems like you've been so ahead of the game. I just don't know the words. I lack the words for your success. I would say maybe it would have to do with age, but age I don't feel is a factor. And I don't really think you've been using magic as an edge.
I feel like age does factor into it, because with time comes the wisdom of learning with the caveat of age. Unless you've made a pact with the Daedra in a ritual to prolong your life.
On stage during last week's challenge, when I asked you what would you say to little Abacus, you had mentioned something about magic not being infallible. Was dealing with Daedra part of your reasoning for what you said on stage?
I feel like when we're young, we're still baby birds. Our eyes are indefinitely closed, that is, until someone forces them open. My big awakening happened many years ago. I was a young lad, about high school age. and many of my colleagues were interested in magic as I was then. In Cyrodiil, I found a place of understanding, and with that also came temptation. People began experimenting with spells, a natural progression in a magical environment such as the Mages Guild. But some of my colleagues began experimenting with darker magic, corrupting the fibers of life and death itself to carve out a sort of macabre trophy of study. I had had enough. I saw many of my friends die from accusations of necromancy, and for a time there was talk in Cyrodiil about instituting some mage prison institutions called circles, whatever that is. I had packed up my things and left for Morrowind. I studied under the Telvanni, though it was not easy nor enjoyable. But my aptitude for magic helped me gain the Telvanni Council's favor, and guaranteed me a place at the top. It was there I learned of rituals involving pacts and secrets with the Daedra, something that the Tamrielic-sanctioned Mages Guild nor the Imperial Sanitized Synod or College of Whispers would allow. After some time had passed, I grew tired of the Ascadian Isles and found myself at the College of Winterhold in Skyrim, where I practically lived in its Arcaneum for the majority of my stay. Oh, and I did all of this while having been fully accepted into the Arcane University, mind you. Sometimes it's best to take a not-so-obvious route rather than the path that fate has set before you.
It's very interesting, Abacus. Myself, having come from a magically adept family, I did get to experience and see many privileges that many children didn't have, which eventually brought me to discovering the magic realm. I assume that you've seen the magic realm, Abacus, being as strong and wise and powerful as you are. And of course, my having become a sage of the Untamed, which is here in our world, is pretty much the best thing you can get. Well, second best to becoming the next magical queen.
Yes, the realm of magic. It's a lovely place, albeit esoteric, though I suppose that's the idea. It reminds me of similar old-world magic-infused locales in Albion, Thedas, and of course the UK.
Abacus, what's one thing you would change if you could go back in time and really speak to your younger self or relive the past and make any sort of change? What would that be?
If I could turn back the clock to being 15 again, well, I would venture out of the mystic archives more. I would dare to try and mingle with new crowds and different people, rather than the ones I associated with by default in the guild. I would try living life first, so then as an old man I would have no regrets to live.
Speaking of regrets, I am definitely 100% sure that neither of us regret you being here for the finale. It's not a surprise, to say the least. It's still phenomenal. It's amazing because you are phenomenal and amazing, Abacus. I feel like if you were to be named the next magical queen, that you would do a lot of good under your reign, and I feel like a lot of people would benefit from that. Perhaps you can elaborate on that.
Were I to be crowned the next magical queen, I would try in earnest to bridge an understanding between magic and everyday life. The world need not fear magic. Yes, it has hurt us as much as it has helped us, the Oblivion crisis as an apt example. But people continue to use cutlery and ignite fires in their hearths, despite all the harm and dangers that sharp blades and flame atronachs have caused. With knowledge comes understanding, and with time comes compassion. The people will see things as I have seen them. They need only time to guide them.
Thanks, Abacus. I'm impressed, and quite honestly, I'm gobsmacked by everything you've said. I feel like you've laid me for bare, and honestly, you are, even though I'm the judge, the host, and you're the competitor, I am, quite admittedly, I'm intimidated. And I don't mean that in any sort of offense. You're just such an inspiring figure, and I feel like even if you don't win Magical Queen, that you will still continue to inspire many generations of spellcasters and drag queens alike. Thank you for taking time to sit down with me tonight, Abacus.
Thank you, Sage. Whether I lose or win, it's been a pleasure all the same.
Dahlia Swan, the Del Sol Valley Queen of Soul. Welcome to the finale, my dear. You have shown yourself to be quite a multifaceted queen, and I'm excited and eager to see what you're going to bring into the future. Oh, Morgyn, it's just such a wonderful feeling to be here as a finalist, a queen who's a final girl, the last queen. Well, not the last, because there's 4 other of us. But it's so good to be here, and I feel like I'm finally among my people, and that you all just get me, and you know how it is, and things are just going to be dandy and cheery, and everything's going to come up roses, or daisies, or whatever that saying is, that crazy classical saying. Now, Dahlia, it seems my question that I asked on stage last week's challenge, when I had you all address your younger selves, really seemed to hit a sensitive spot on you. You seem really caught in the moment and emotional, and I understand it's an emotional question. And I just wanted to know, was there anything you wanted to perhaps share, to divulge, to elaborate on, that shaped who you are today from what you were saying on that stage? Well, everybody knows Dahlia Swan as the Del Sol Valley Queen. However, there was a time where that wasn't exactly who I was. I was living in Oasis Springs, a crater. I was helping Crow with her drag. Oh, I'm sorry, Shadow with her drag. Actually, FYI, I'm the one who suggested she should be Crow because it kind of sounds like Raven, and we all know Raven, Drag Race, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and I was not as fortunate as some of my peers, and things just weren't going my way. You know, for Christmas I wanted the new pair of tap shoes. Actually, I never owned a pair of tap shoes. I really wanted a pair of tap shoes, and instead I got a baseball bat and a mitt. What am I supposed to do with those? I'm a theatrical queen. Dahlia Swan is not an athlete. And this compounds on the already difficult burden of growing up in an underprivileged household in a cold, Oasis Springs isn't cold, but the neighbors being cold and turning their backs on you, and not having the same kind of walls as perhaps the land grabs. Oh no, Morgyn. No, silly. Dahlia Swan had all the privileges growing up, darling. I just didn't have the talent yet. And nobody believed that I could have the talent. I was constantly looked down and mocked and told, you should do sports and you should do boys' things. I didn't want to do boys' things, damn it. I wanted to dress up and act and be a star. And they all said, no, you're a little fool, you are. Well, it is still important to receive regular encouragement and uplifting from your loved ones, especially your parents and your teachers. And not receiving that kind of encouragement or positive reinforcement can have catastrophic consequences on a person's mind, especially a young person. And it appears to me that you came through it more or less in one piece, and that you did become the queen that you wanted to be. Now, if there was one thing you could change about your past, what would it be? Oh, Dahlia Swan knew she was going to go places, Morgyn. She knew she was going to be a star. I was a star, Morgyn. I really, truly was. I just hadn't quite found my niche yet. And my acting and vocal coaches knew this, and my private personal tutors knew this, and my driver knew this, and my au pair knew this, but it's just my parents were just so busy all the time. They're out of town and out of state, and out of their minds, and then they were on 6am for a time. That's actually how I met Zohara, if you can believe it. We convinced her to move out here, her and her family. Of course, her parents hated it here. But still, the point remains, Morgyn, I was just so distraught and beside myself. It was not until the time... Oh, you asked me what I would change. Oh, center myself. Okay, what I would change. Back in time, if I could go back as the small version of Dahlia Swan, I would take that baseball bat and I would hit my dad right in the shin and say, "No, Father, I am going to wear those pink ballet shoes. I am going to prance around on stage, whether you like it or not, and I am going to be the princess in the Nutcracker play, and that is the Dahlia Swan way. Yes, sirree, ma'am." It definitely sounds like you've thought this out long and hard, Dahlia. And kudos for you for sticking to your guns and being the queen that you knew that you are. Now, speaking of queen, if you were crowned next magical queen of 2023, what would be your first decree? My first decree as magical queen. Oh, Morgyn, that has a ring. That really has a ring to it. I would... Oh gosh, what would I do? I would make Monday National Shoe Day. Unless there's already National Shoe Day. You know, it doesn't matter. Then I would make Wednesday Shop Till You Drop Day. And then Saturday would be Fudge Sunday Day. And then, of course, on the holidays where the kids and the adults and the old people and the ghosts and the werewolves, the aliens have the time off, we all go and watch a drag show and learn about stuff. Because that's what you do in The Sims, isn't it? In Oasis Springs, in Del Sol Valley, the kid with a dream in his eye who would become a queen. Morgyn. And scene. Thanks a lot, doll. I think that you would be an exceptional magical queen, along the likes of Galaxia and Bambina and Elle and Moxie Mathers. I think there is space, definitely, for a Dahlia Swan. You are definitely a unique character, and that is something to be beholden and to be proud of, Dahlia. So even if you win or lose or somewhere in between, keep your head held up high, kid, because that dream is very much alive. And thank you for having this sit down with me. It was such a blast. Oh, anytime, Morgyn. We're practically sisters. We're such besties, right? Anytime you want, sis, if I can call you that. Toodles! Palm, our delectable French fruit. Please take a seat, darling. You look radiant as always. Palm, if I may be so forward, I have to state that you making the finale is not really a surprise, but I feel like a lot of people viewing your progress through the season may have seen you as somewhat of a dark horse, and maybe sort of the fashion queen or the look queen of the season, and that really was neck and neck between you and Dahlia this season since introducing the concept of Runway wins, and you have snatched the final Runway win of the season with last week's challenge. How do you feel about your progress so far in the season up to now, culminating in this finale?
It has been a whirlwind for sure. And while I never questioned my ability, I did wonder if I was as visible to everyone else as they were to me.
I can state, at least for myself and for the judges, that you have been 100% loud and clear to the panel this entire season. We were taken aback by you, Palm, since your initial entrance, your first runway. We knew that we were dealing with a potential winner. Absolutely. I mean, you, Zohara, and Abacus are three rarities in this contest, and you have never been in the bottom. You've never had to lip sync for your life, never up for elimination. This has only happened one other time with the previous season 3 with our winner Moxie, our runner-up Pavo, and with Tani Breckenridge. So to have this repeat so soon in another season is a surprise, but with the queens, the particular queens, you, Abacus, and Zoara, is not a surprise, because the three of you have demonstrated such mastery of the art of drag, and your makeup, and hair selection, your style, and your work in the challenges. It's clear you're going places in life. And speaking of which, I have a question, Bum. As the first Francophone queen ever on Morgyn's Drag Race to reach the finale, if you win, what will be your message to fellow Francophones out there?
Bonjour mes chères reines. Tu es moi, et je suis toi. Je gagne par amour. Je gagne pour vous tous. Translation: Hello fellow queens. You are me, and I am you. I win for love. I win for you all.
Wow, Bom, I have to say that is just beautiful. A beautiful acceptance speech. I'm wondering though, do you have any past regrets? Maybe on the path to becoming the queen you are today, or things you would change, or would like to change, or would have possibly done differently?
When I was 5, my grandmère gave to me a sketchbook. It was the first gift I received that Christmas, and I would design pretty dresses and the models who would wear them. My grandpère disliked my interest and fashion, and his daughters. My tante wrote it off as a girl's hobby. If I could change one thing, I would give my grandmère more time to see her petit-fils grow into the queen that he is today. I know it's an unreasonable wish, but if I had the power to turn back time, that is what I would do.
It sounds to me like you've had a very rough upbringing and childhood, Palm. It can't be easy going through life, especially early life, and having your dreams shot down at every opportunity. And it sounds to me like your grandma was a ray of light in a time of darkness for you. No, Palm, I don't see that as being unreasonable at all. In fact, oftentimes, not just as children but also as adults, when we try to hold out for acceptance from others, oftentimes that expectation turns to resentment, even without an already existing resentment. And I'm glad that your grandmother was there to provide you with at least a sliver of hope and warmth in those trying times. Now, I wonder, if you were crowned Magical Queen, what would your first decree be?
Were I to be named next Magical Queen of 2023, I would use my sorceress powers to stop all wars and bring peace to the world. If I couldn't do that, then the next best thing would be to declare Love Day a national holiday, allowing everyone time off to spend with their loved ones. Because life truly is short, and you never know how much time you have until the hourglass runs out of sand.
Well, I think we could all use a little bit of love. What was that RuPaul would always say? Everybody say love. I think that everybody could do with an extra dosage of that. And I think that you'd make an excellent Magical Queen, Palm. I want to thank you for joining me here for this little luncheon date. And I cannot wait to see you along with your fellow queens on the main stage tonight.
Merci beaucoup, you're too kind.
Celine, the Wolf Queen. Here you are among the top 5 of our finale. How does it feel being among the few queens who make it this far as a finalist?
I'm not gonna lie, Morgyn. There definitely were some times when I questioned whether I was staying or going.
Which, to be fair, it was not without reason, Celine. You had fallen into the bottom twice. Most recently, you sent Dakota home. You came out victorious in that lip sync like you did the previous lip sync. So you proved your worth, that you deserve to be in the finale. But it did come at a cost, but everything comes at a cost. And you never know the truth unless we actually try. So, how do you feel you've done so far in this competition, with that said?
There's definitely room for improvement here, no denying that. When I first came here, I wanted to waltz and amaze everyone just by being myself, Celine the werewolf. But as the weeks dragged on, you realize that it doesn't work that way. Everyone has their own ideal or agenda, and you can choose to create your own agenda or be in the background. I know I slipped up a couple of times, but I fought tooth and nail to get to the finale. It sucks that I'm the queen with the least wins here, and people will probably be saying, Dakota should have been there instead. And maybe they're right, but I chose to stay and fight, so here I am.
And I agree with you, Celine, absolutely. If Dakota were meant to be here, she would be here. She did not satisfy my criteria for the challenge, for the lip sync, or the other judges. Thus, you were the winner of that lip sync, and you solidified your place in the finals. And honestly, looking at you here now, I would not be able to say goodbye to you here. I just love that energy, that zeal, that zest you bring, your wolfish smile. I think that you bring something unique and something essential to this competition. And so I want to know, you mentioned before that your life was in shambles and basically gone to hell and back. Can you elaborate on that? Because clearly it seems you're in a much better place today.
There was a time when I wasn't lucky to sleep in a warm bed in a decently sized house. I was sleeping on a discarded mattress out in the woods of Moonwood Mill, scavenging for scraps during the day and trying to avoid Greg by night. But the Volkovs found me and brought me back to their house. Christopher helped me keep my rage and bestial urges under control, and Lily shared knowledge of Moonwood Mill with me. I wanted to do anything to escape what I believed was hell, because I had no family to call my own. But ultimately, I stayed because I wanted to be closer to my friends, my family.
It can't be easy growing up different, and I know from experience as a spellcaster, lots of people would call me a witch, would call me a hexer, etc., etc. And being a werewolf is no different. And it's very brave and admirable of you to be where you are today and to choose drag as your outlet and stand firm and say, no, I am who I am. I'm standing against the norm. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be Celine, the werewolf queen. And there's nothing no one can say about it, honey. I'm curious, though, speaking of queens, if you were to be crowned the next magical queen, what would your first decree be?
My first decree would be to announce free lunch for the school kids, because there's nothing worse than trying to study on an empty stomach. It's the pits. It sucks. Secondly, my other decree would be to have Greg shipped to the San Diego Zoo.
Celine, it certainly sounds like you definitely have everything in order. And I'm sure that if you're crowned Magical Queen in 2023, the new year is going to begin with a head start and a wolfish grin on its face. Thank you for sitting down with me this evening, Celine.
Thanks for having me.
Miss Soara, how are you, darling? I have to say that apart from Abacus, no one would be surprised that you are sitting here with me at the finale, because you're just so multi-talented and ambidextrous, and you've practically slayed this competition this season.
Thank you, Morgyn. But it's still kinda surreal to me. Like, I'm stuck in this dream, and I'm yet to awake.
Well, technically, Zoara, the dream is still alive. Until a crown is placed upon one's head, the dream is still there, where anyone can be Magical Queen. Now, speaking of Magical Queen, I seem to recall you saying that it wasn't easy growing up as an alien and as a drag queen. Did you want to elaborate on that?
I didn't always live in San Sequoia. In fact, when I moved to Earth with my family, we first lived in Strangerville. And despite its namesake, they do not have an appreciation for aliens or drag.
I am a little surprised, Zoara, because I would have figured, given the times, that Strangerville would be right up your alley, would be right up anyone's alley. I've been there recently, and it's a wonderful, fun, weird place. Now, I'm not discrediting what you're saying, and I'm not trying to invalidate you in any way, shape, or form. I just know that with time and over the decades, things have changed. And perhaps it was too late in some cases. I feel like there's always an opportunity to learn. The climate changes, the political climate, I mean. People come in with a more open mind and they change the landscape. I'm just surprised because AedanStarfang seems so nuclear family and so conservative that I just kind of figured that a drag queen, wouldn't really feel comfortable there.
AedanStarfang, for all its faults, is home to me. It holds a special place in my heart. It was the last place my mother resided before she sadly left us.
Oh my, Zora, I'm so sorry.
It's to go back to Sixam, after marrying a billionaire from Del Sol Valley.
Oh,
She writes from time to time, usually to warn us kids to call before visiting. She likes to host neighborhood naturalist meetups.
now, Zoara, you mentioned kids. Am I safe in assuming that you have siblings, that there are more than just yourself in the household?
I have an older brother and 2 sisters. My brother always was, and still is, sports obsessed. And my sisters would enjoy dressing me up and painting my face. Obviously, you can see that there is little to no correlation with my becoming a drag queen.
Obviously. Now, what would be one thing that you would change about your life, your past, yourself, if you could turn back time? Or just go back in time? Or however you turn the phrase.
Time travel. I'm not adverse to it, but as I said on stage, I wouldn't change a thing about my past, because those experiences shaped me into who I became today and made me stronger for it. I guess if there was just one thing I'd change, I'd bring those 90s plastic pacifiers back into style. You could get them from gumball machines. They were a craze for a time and obviously a product of its time, but I find them oddly inspiring.
Well, I find you to be quite inspiring, Zoar. Your tale of adversity, of determination, of continued determination is very awe-inspiring. I've had the pleasure of sitting down and talking with many finalists on this franchise, and you are definitely one of the few who has really kind of activated something in my brain. Like, there is something about her that's... She's going to go far. I can feel it, and I'm sure you can feel it. And speaking of going into the future, if you are named Magical Queen, what would be one of your first decrees?
My first decree would be to proclaim an official day of drag, which shall henceforth be Intergalactic Drag Day, celebrated on the 1st of every month, on Sixam.
On Sixam?
Just like what Galaxia said on her season. Sixam doesn't appreciate drag, or any earthly concepts. They're still into the same age-old cliché of abducting and experimenting on people, and stealing their garbage. I never could understand that last one.
Oh, Zoara, I feel like, regardless whether you're a crowned Magical Queen or not, I think that the world over is going to be moved by you after this season, and they're going to continue to be inspired and even enlightened by your style of drag and your on-pointedness and your continued growth. I just feel like you have a lot to share. Thank you for sharing and opening up with me this evening.
Thank you for having me, Morgyn. It's been a pleasure.
Wow, it's just us 5. Us 5 queens in the finale. So many queens have gone home. It's just almost over my head. I was wondering, though, has anyone left that you all miss?
Not counting Dakota, because it goes without saying that we both miss her dearly.
Oh, of course, it goes without saying, sis. I do dearly miss Dakota. I'm just trying to think if there's any other queens that I would also miss, and I'm coming up dry.
Aranea. I almost miss her supreme sense of accomplishment. She was delusional to the max, to the point of being inspirational.
I agree with you there. 100% for real.
I find myself missing Honey Marie Combs, or at least reminding her how much of a talentless waste of space she was.
I don't really miss anyone, to be honest. Like you all, I enjoyed Dakota's company. But every queen before her was easily forgettable.
So since I'm the most accomplished dancer here, I'll go ahead and take the reins for this choreo sesh.
By all means, dear leader, lead the way.
Dear sis, aren't you forgetting about little old me here? There's 2 accomplished dancers here in this grouping of 5, and perhaps maybe I ought to go ahead and, put my nose in the pot, so to speak.
The saying is, stir the pot and cut your nose off to spite your face. So don't do either, and just follow my lead.
I have stated previously how much I abhor dance practice? No? Well, in that case, je déteste les entraînements de danse.
Woo! My dogs are killing me!
Dear leader, if I may speak out of turn to suggest we break for the day, this routine isn't going to get any easier, and if I can speak for the group, I think we're all exhausted.
All right, let's end here for the night. We can reconvene in the morrow.
Hallelujah, I get to rest my feet and relax. Oh, I could drop dead. But the crown awaits, so I can't do it yet.
I know the girlies are kind of mad at me at the moment, but they will thank me when we're congratulated for our stellar dance routine.
Here we go again, my love. You've got so much time to spend.
Hello to all and welcome to the main stage of Morgyn's Drag Race, the finale edition. Siobhan Fires, certainly our queen's finale choreograph routine, will indeed light your fire tonight. Morgyn, how long has it been? I cannot believe another finale is here. It seems like just yesterday I was getting to know these queens. I saw them strut their stuff on the runway. Now it's all over. We're going to have to pick a winner. I can't believe it. And yes, of course, anything dealing with drag queens always lights my fire. And Jasper Harp, our resident teen dream fashion sensation. Are you also excited for the finale? I believe that this is your first ever attendance to a finale.
This is indeed my first finale, Morgyn. And I'm excited as hell to see who is going to win it all.
Earlier, our top 5 were tasked with putting on a choreographed routine just for us, especially for the finale. So, without further ado, let's do further and reveal my queen.
Dancing is definitely one of my strong suits, so I have zero doubts in my own ability. My contemporaries, on the other hand, that's another story.
There was a point during this routine where things got serious really quick.
I don't think that could have gone any better if I were Danny Kaye. Thank gods that's done and over with.
Thank you, Queens. Thank you for that wonderful performance. You may now return to the workroom and change into your specially picked lip sync uniforms for the finale lip sync for the crown. Meanwhile, us judges will be entertained by some special guests.
I'm calling 'cause I need you. You know I need you so desperately. You know how bad I can get, and you know how good I can be. I'm calling just to tell you, get here, I'll make it all worth your while. I could make you some food, boy, and then I could make you smile. 'Cause I've got nothing on but the radio, and I've got nothing on for tonight. I've got nothing on but the radio, and I'm tuned into a station tonight with me tonight. You better get here soon. Oh, you know what I will do. Got too much time on my hands. Wait till I get my hands on you. 'Cause I've got nothing on but the radio, and I've got nothing on for tonight. I've got nothing on but the radio, and I'm tuned into a station tonight with me tonight. When you get here, boy, we can dance. My hands in the back pockets of your pants. I've turned the lights down low, and I've got nothing on but the radio. Got too much time on my hands. Wait till I get my hands on you. 'Cause I've got nothing on but the radio, and I've got nothing on for tonight.
5 queens stand before me. Ladies, the time has come for all of you to lip sync for the crown. This is your absolute last chance to impress me, win $35,000, become crowned the next magical queen, and be set for life. Now, prepare yourselves. Good luck. And don't flunk it up.
This is it. This is the moment that will determine once and for all who the winner of this competition is. Anything before this moment is irrelevant. I can't help but feel so small and insignificant in this moment, on this stage. I hope that regardless of the ultimate outcome, that I have at least proven my worth in this competition.
It's the finale, specifically the lip sync for the crown, and the Wolf Queen is on fire. I'm tearing up the stage and showing the judges that I still got it, and that I'm definitely a great choice for Magical Queen.
I have made it this far, and I will certainly go further. The judges have seen the limitless potential that I possess, and this final lip sync will seal the fact that Pommy is the definitive winner and next Magical Queen.
The time has finally come, and I can barely believe it. I'm here. Dahlia's here. Still. Well, this final lip sync will certainly determine who out of the two of us deserves the crown and the title of Magical Queen.
I am standing here on this stage as Dahlia Swan, a little queen from Little Del Sol Valley, but I am going to end up being queen of the friggin' world. Just you wait and see, folks. My queens, thank you for that one last lip sync performance. Will the five of you please depart the stage to transition into your royal regalia gowns, and you may have one last cocktail in the lounge while the judges and I deliberate. Alright, my fellow queens, who do we feel has earned the title of Magical Queen this season? Out of the top 5 of Abacus, Dahlia Swan, Pom, Celine, and Zoara, who do we feel deserves it the most? Out of everybody in this finale, all 5 queens, nobody screams winner to me quite like Abacus. She's been consistently good. She's been on top of her game. A few times she's been kind of safe, but it happens. And she has impressed the hell out of me this season. I don't see anyone else coming close to touching that. Interesting. Jasper, what are your thoughts on who our next magical queen should be?
I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with Siobhan there. I can easily see Zoara, or even Pommy, as winners of this competition. They both have maxi wins, and have been consistently on point this entire season. To not mention them is a discredit and a slap in the face to their efforts.
I have made my decision. Silence! Summon forth my finalists.
Well, here we all are. The group dance is done. The lip sync is over. All that's left for us now is the coronation.
Well, I think I can say that regardless of who wins, we're all still sisters, and we're all still queens in our own right, and I'm sure that we won't cut off communication with any of us, right? That's how I feel about it anyway. I am so nervous to think that I could actually be the next magical queen. It puts me on a whole other level. Me or one of these other queens, but hopefully me, of course.
I, for one, can agree with that.
Oui. I feel like the journey to get here has been incredible, and it would not have been the same without you all. Merci beaucoup à vous tous.
Before this competition, I had nothing. I was just a nobody werewolf from Moonwood Mill. But now at the end, and regardless of whether I win or lose, I feel like I'll be walking away with new friends.
I agree, Celine, and I am honored to be counted as one of your friends. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to get to know you, to get to know all of you this season. Thank you all for being authentic and being so very kind. I know this is a competition, but I feel I've come to know these queens as my friends, and that will be a comforting consolation for the future.
I feel like having such a nice circle of friends with me here at the end already makes me a winner, with or without the crown.
I know I always pride myself on my appearance for the runway, and I come across as a bitch. But I really do love and appreciate every person in this room. The journey would truly not be the same without them all here. Adieu mes bons amis.
This whole experience reminds me of my youth, or what I missed out on. Sure, I had friends, colleagues, associates, I guess would be a better term. I was so focused on crafting the perfect spell, to see myself outplay life's tragedies, that I missed out on many of the more tender moments that life can offer. Drawing closer to the end now, I realize that there is no formula for the perfect spell, because the perfect spell simply does not exist. Sure, you can extend your life either through alchemy or Daedric pacts. But is it really living when you miss out on so much of what life has to offer? I am humbled to admit that this competition has been a journey, and a new experience for even an aged wizard such as me. This moment, what we're sharing now, I shall always treasure, because it's that kind of unguarded kinship that I never knew in my youth. I thank you all, my fellow queens. I swear I shall forever be by your side as either Abacus the loser or winner. This experience has taught me many things. For one, I've seen the error in searching for answers in the past, when the solution was to adapt my eyes to the future. Secondly, friendship. Camaraderie is a strength, not a weakness, something I took for granted in the past. Oh, the folly of youth. Look at the old wizard carrying on and on like an adolescent schoolgirl. Anyway, TLDR, as the kids say, you're all remarkable, and it's been an honor to share the stage with you.
Uh-oh, I think I feel a group hug coming on. Don't try to fight it, girls. It's time. It's time to get emotional.
I think things got emotional the moment we all realized that this is it, Dahlia dear.
Relax, Dahlia. Remember, no crying until the end. Before we proceed with our festivities for the night, I believe we have a few guests in attendance. Guests, will you please reveal yourselves?
Surprise, bitches. Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Sakura Kazama reporting in for the finale? So far, so good. I don't see anyone I hate yet.
Mallory's be back for the finale, babies. Hey, honies. Y'all thought you could keep the juice away, babe. You best believe I am gonna see who gets that crown tonight.
The spider returns to the main stage. Unfortunately, there is no prey to be had today.
Babes, the socks are back, and she is stomping that runway. Wish it was me getting that crown.
I'm back in black, and I wish I was actually competing for once, because God, do I look stunned.
Season 4's safest queen returns for the finale, which I'm not part of. God, what a waste.
The party has arrived. Woot! Dakota is here for the finale. Bring it on, ladies!
Here I am, walking the catwalk of Morgan's drag race for the last time. Whether I leave here tonight a winner or a loser remains to be seen. I will, however, remain cautiously optimistic.
The lip sync is done. I am strutting down that runway, Dahlia Swan style, the only style that I know. And I am just waiting to see who Morgan places that crown upon whose head. Personally, I just keep picturing myself. I hope it's me. Oh, please let it be me.
This is it. My big moment has finally arrived. Honestly, I imagined there being fewer people, but I am sure that Morgan will make the correct choice in the end.
I can't believe it's finally here! The coronation of Morgan's drag race! I'm so nervous I could puke. Please don't puke. Please don't puke. Wait until you've been crowned to puke.
The time has finally come. One of us will be chosen as the new magical queen, and the rest, well, the rest doesn't matter, I suppose. Regardless of the outcome, I feel like the journey has been worthwhile. I got to spend some quality time with my sis Dahlia, and gained my first every drag daughter in Dakota. I've met some new, incredible people, and even if I lose, I wouldn't trade my drag race journey for the world.
Welcome back to the main stage of the finale of Morgan's Drag Race. Finalists, the judges and I have been talking, and we've come to a decision. The winner of Morgan's Drag Race is Abacus! Congratulations, darling, you are a winner! You are entitled to $35,000, a custom crown, and this is a brand new addition, oh my, a brand new custom-made Ferrari by Hot Rodding Sims of San Myshuno. Oh, congratulations, Abacus. judges have allowed our finalists to make this special vote as to who should be nominated Miss Congeniality out of a pool of the eliminated queens. Finalists, I have tallied together your votes, and it was unanimous. Would Dakota Wild please approach the stage?
Me? You mean I won something?
Well, not so much won, but you were voted for. Congratulations. Now get your patootie down here, Miss Wild. Miss Dakota Wild, your peers, the finalists of Morgan's Drag Race Season 4, have voted, and it was unanimous. You are Miss Congeniality for Season 4 of Morgan's Drag Race. Congratulations, my dear. And here to officially usher you in for the new year, for a new reign of Congeniality, is last year's Miss Congeniality, Miss Delilah Devereaux Dupree.
Queens, countrymen, did you miss me? Did you really miss me? Oh, congratulations, kiddo. Oh, you're gonna need it. Oh, it's a vicious world out there. They'll eat you, they'll swallow you whole. And oh, I've become irrelevant already so soon into the new year.
Wow, gee, thanks.
Well, Queen Abacus, magical Queen Abacus, the Queen of 2024. What will your first act as new magical queen be? Will you please let your public know?
There are so many options to pick from. Perhaps I will go to Disneyland as the kids do these days. Or maybe I'll take the girlies out for a spin in my new Ferrari to the Imperial City. The sky's the limit for me now. I think it always has been. This moment merely cements it.
It sure is, Queen. It sure is. Would you do your audience a favor? One last request and prance for us, magical Queen Abacus.
Morgan, it would be my pleasure to bid this request for you, for all my subjects. But would you look at that, Abacus? The wizened old toad from Cyrodiil is the new magical queen. I'm no soothsayer. I have not the powers of precognition. So believe me when I say it was anyone's guess. I'm also relieved, in part to accomplishing a personal goal of mine, and that I can rest now that this is all finally over. And believe me when I say that these old bones could use a holiday.
So now that the dust has settled, how do you feel?
To be honest, Zoara, I feel good. Really good. I feel like celebrating. Anyone fancy a night on the town?
Sure, why not? Beats moping about here, and checkout is in the morning anyway.
I love going out, so count me in.
Oh, what the hell. After today's events, I could certainly use a drink. Or 3.
Sure, why the hell not?
Right? Then it's settled. Dakota, you have your driver's license, yes? Because I foresee Mother Abacus being plastered all night long and won't be much use behind the wheel.
Just give me the keys and I'll do the rest.
And so it is told, as the legend goes, that the magical queen, the 4th ever magical queen, Queen Abacus, had a long and prosperous rule filled with enlightenment, prosperity, love, and peace for all subjects everywhere. Long live Abacus! May her reign be true and long.